this is your day. Today's the day you really come in and show them, hey,
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed history.
How about that?
All right, so we are back from Six Summer. What is today? Wednesday. So we got back Saturday night and we got the Gasser unloaded. So I want to do a recap with EJ. Aiden's car is still in the trailer. He's on one of our other projects or whatever, so we'll do a recap with him probably tomorrow. But Six Summer, was it a success?
I would say so.
So
Yeah.
obviously EJ went into it very green. She went from picking up a car in Virginia, getting back here on Monday. We had to leave Saturday for the event, so converted the car basically from a bracket car into a drag and drive car, and it did successfully complete the week. So tell me about Sunday. Sunday was tech day, so we roll out there Sunday, got the car unloaded. Tell me about Sunday, how you were feeling, what your thought was. You got to meet your, well, who was supposed to be your other pilot of the car, and then somehow that changed. So
Right. So Sam was supposed to be my co-driver for the week. That's how we set it up. But every day in the morning, he would surprise me with the fact that I would be driving that day. So then I just ended up driving the whole week. Even though I tried to insist that he take some turns, but he wasn't having it.
yeah, because when I found the car on Racing Junk or whatever on that Saturday, I mean, the first call I made was to Sam saying that, hey, I got the perfect car for you to drive during Six Summer if you don't have another ride lined up. And he's like, oh yeah, and like sent him a picture of the car. He was all into it, and then somehow that turned into him not driving. But let's take a step back to Sunday, registration day. How are you feeling taking the car through tech? Like literally your first time driving it, I think, was unloading it, or
Yeah. So leading up to that, the nerves didn't really kick in until Sunday, because we were busy getting the car ready and whatnot, so I wasn't nervous yet. But Sunday was when the nerves started kicking in a little bit. First time driving it was off the trailer, and then he drove it into the tech lanes, and then I drove it back, I think. So I didn't know how to put the car in park. I didn't know how to, I mean, I knew how to shift it, but I didn't know when, or kind of all the basics. I had no idea, so I had to learn on the spot.
yeah, she didn't know how a line lock worked. Like literally, you're talking green. Like
Right.
didn't even know what a line lock did.
Right.
So that was all very new. And I guess while we get in, let's even go like a step further back. So EJ is not my daughter, so she works here. She worked doing wrap stuff, and then she wanted to get more into automotive, like as far as more than just doing the wraps on the cars. So yep, she's our wrap person that does the stickers and the wraps that we do on our stuff, but she is a trainee as far as the automotive side of things and getting better with that stuff. So I guess that gives the explanation on that part, that everybody always asks the question. So, and we'll continue to never answer it when you ask the questions in all the random videos, but if you go find this nugget of information, now you know the real story there. So she's not Bob's daughter because of the matching tattoos, like not Aiden's girlfriend. We don't know about Joey, but so. But either way, so Sunday, did you guys make a pass on Sunday?
Yes, first time ever. Sunday.
Okay.
Just one, I think. Just the one, and that was my $14.99, so that was my starting time.
Yeah, and that was also trying to teach someone that's been around fuel injection their entire life the basics of a carburetor, and it is not the same as fuel injection. So she was like trying to explain to someone to roll into the pedal, like the gas, quickly, but not smack it. Like, I mean, I don't know. There's an unknown touch to it that I guess we don't know, but you spent the week learning
Yes. Yeah.
to not flood the carburetor out. So.
Right. Well, the first day, like I tried to do a burnout and it just wasn't happening because I wasn't using enough gas. And then I was told to smack it, and then that was too much. So then I had to find the happy medium.
But so it came around to where like come Friday, you were doing good burnouts with it. So all right, so then Monday was the first day of the event. So the first time that this car had been driven anywhere other than, like, I mean, literally we backed it off the trailer, we pulled it in here and started tearing it apart because we only had 4 days. So we had a gear vendor coming in to put into it because it's got 410 rear gears to try and make it a little more road friendly so that it doesn't have as tall of gears in it. So learning experience on a gear vendor. Like, some stuff I guess we take for granted on how stuff works and that it should be common knowledge, but it's really not, because how were you using the gear vendor initially?
How was I using it?
You just turned it on and then you'd start driving.
Well, after we left the track, we tried turning it on and it wasn't turning on for, I don't know why. But then, how was I using it?
No, you just enacted it like, hey, I want to use overdrive. So you turned it on and the light was on at a dead stop. And then you would start driving with it. So, and Sam obviously hasn't had a gear vendor either because he didn't know the difference either. But literally the way a gear vendor works is you can split gears with it, or you can just use it in overdrive. I just use it strictly as an overdrive. That 3-speed manual shift transmission. This has a turbo 350 in it, but literally it's 1, 2, 3, click for overdrive. And then when you start to slow down, same thing, click off the overdrive, then 3, 2, 1. So it's really a 4th gear is the way we use it, but you could go 1, click it for 1.5, then you could shift into 2, like, but they do make electronic kits that will do that and automatically split the gears. Gear vendor has those available. We just use it as a manual button. You got to make sure you never back up with the gear vendor on, or else you will roll a sprag in the gear vendor. So successfully, I don't think you guys did that, hopefully. So.
We did not.
But, so the first drive, so tell us about the first day, leaving the track. I mean, there was a test day on Sunday, Monday started the event, and then, did you just do one pass on Monday?
1 or 2.
Okay. So obviously it was the training into the burnout part, but then leaving the track, that first day, how can you explain leaving the track? Backing up and leaving.
So leaving the track, none of us really knew what to expect at all because, as he said, it had not been street driven. The first couple of miles was fine. Obviously we were using the gear vendor incorrectly. And then the first day is when we had a lot of overheating problems, and that was just because a fuse kept popping, and we had to figure out a solution on the fly to not overheat, obviously, before we could get a new set of fuses. So we figured that out, and other than that, it was a good drive.
Yeah, Be Cool had built the radiator and the fan setup, and it had a 30 amp fuse in it, and for whatever reason, extended use, it was blowing the 30 amp fuse, and it made some changes to it. We could hot wire the fans to turn them on, but yeah, which it took until day 2 or day 3 before we actually got a 40 amp fuse for it.
Yeah,
so
I feel like it was the 3rd day.
But also she had to learn that, like, if it starts to overheat, then stop.
Right.
Don't just say it's getting hot and keep driving. So, but these are all like the growing things of going from 0 to, what would you call yourself at the end of the week? Would you call yourself an experienced racer? Like,
No, very much still a novice, but I know more than I did.
she made it from nothing to an amateur.
There we go.
So in a week, and burnouts, good passes, like got comfortable with the car. So like I said, Sam filled in as like the mentor very well. Like, I mean, I saw times where he's definitely explaining stuff in way finer detail than I would ever take the time to explain something. So
Yeah, which is why he was really great to have with my first drag and drive. He would go into detail, like he said, about lots of things, and he would be like, "Well, sorry if I'm boring you," and then keep going. But it really wasn't boring. I really appreciated the extra info, helped me understand.
yeah, and slowly, like every day, the comfort got there, and like with anything with it, it takes laps, it takes times, it takes repetition. So like just explaining it or watching a video or anything like that is way different than actually going through the motions with it. So, but the car did successfully make it till the end of the week, and you even made like 4 or 5 passes on Friday with it.
Yeah.
So, Mickey Thompson was your hero this week. Why?
Well, we did not have a spare set of wheels, so each and every day at the track, we would take the street tires off, roll them over, they would put our race tires on, and then repeat at the end of the day for 5 days straight.
Yeah, they ended up running in the 235 class, or the Rowdy Radio class, which uses the small slick, and rather than the radials, they didn't have any radials, they just had the small slick, but the other two is for that highway driving. They put on, I think a 235 is a 26-inch tall tire, and they put on a 28-inch tall tire for the street drive that would help better with the street driving, so it's a little bit taller tire. Made that a little more manageable. Obviously with the gear vendor overdrive, made a huge difference to basically take something that the ad said cannot be driven long distances. That was part of the reason for getting this car. So now it has successfully completed a drag and drive, so it went 600 and some miles, adding wrong turns and laps down the track and back and forth to the hotels. So definitely did it. So how would you describe drag and drive from a participant? Because you've been to Sick Week just as in the Tahoe, like just as a crew person, but the difference between that and last week, how would you describe the difference in those two?
Well,
Which one would you rather do?
participate, for sure.
Why?
Because it was fun.
Okay, the other way wasn't fun?
It was, but I was just more of a bystander. I didn't really have a role at Sick Week so much. I mean, I got to race, which I've been wanting to do for years, so that was very exciting, obviously. And then also, I like the fact that you have to work on your own car too. It's not just racing, like you don't have a pit crew or anything. It's you and your co-pilot, and that's who you have for the week. That being said, I didn't have a ton of issues or problems that I ran into that other people did. Like, I didn't have to change the motor on the side of the road or transmissions or anything like that. So it was fun for me.
So it was a very reliable car.
It was reliable. Yeah.
Yeah, other than a fuse issue on the fans, I mean, that was really the only thing that came off. Like, there was an issue
Yeah.
for the week that I can think of. The other is that the tachometer is hooked up to the light circuit, which SAC obviously did all the wiring, which took it from not being able to have turn signals or anything like that to get everything working. Well, he hooked up the tack to the light thinking he was only dealing with the light on the tack, so it would come on with the headlights. So one thing they dealt with is, I mean, tell us about the tack.
So I guess the first 2 or maybe even 3 days, I thought it just had no tack at all. Come to find out, if the headlights are on, I am able to read the tack. But also, come to find out the last day, or like the 4th day, that if you adjust the dimmer on the light, it also adjusts the tack. So
Yeah, the tach is adjusted to the potentiometer on the dimmer switch, so therefore you can make the tach read whatever you want by adjusting the dimmer. So that's a correction that needs to be had. What other stuff needs dealt with? Anything underneath the car?
Does that answer your question?
Is there anything underneath the car that needs dealt with?
Besides the leaking oil?
Yeah, it has an oil leak. And
You could tell wherever Sam and I were parked throughout the whole week because there was a little puddle of oil underneath it.
So yeah, so it has an oil leak that they would put a diaper on every day to deal with the oil leak at the track, and then take the diaper off because it'll run cooler on the street without the diaper on there insulating the oil pan. So that was a daily routine to put it on, take it off, and but it did contain the oil on the track, so no oil on the track. But it does, even just from pulling in here last night, it's got a mark to say where it was parked last night. So that and the tachometer, I don't know of anything else. It does need a good cleaning. So, and now for the cleaning, there's our commercial. 6 spit. So this actually has ceramic in it. It's got all kinds of good crap or whatever. We are not good at washing our cars and keeping our cars clean. Usually I just use quick detailer. Not usually, almost always, unless it is really thick dirt on the car. But we did come out with our own detailer. So we did work with some really cool people on this to come up with this. And you should definitely get out and try this. Anytime I look at the auto parts store, which anytime I was with Sam, he makes me look at detail spray because to see the price of it and what the ingredients are. And with this, it does have all the good stuff, and it's a lot less than a lot of the other quick detailers out there, but it actually works better. So get this over on the website, and she will be shining this up with some 6 spit today to get that part going, and then we just have to address the oil leak and stuff. But there's the recap on EJ's. Any last things you want to say?
Man, anything I want to.
I guess she has nothing else she wants to say. All right, so after she does get done detailing this thing, get this thing all shined up and back, and take care of the oil leak, what do you guys think we should do with the car next? Give us your comments, give us your ideas. Where should we go with this project, and what's its next step? Because literally we've only had the car for 2 weeks, and we did turn successful drag and drive car. Big engine, blower, I don't know, like sell it. Maybe back to the guy we bought it from. I don't know, but let us know. Thanks, guys.